Hello everybody and welcome to Andrew's Arts and Models. I am finally back at the bench. Yes, the studio is done, the baby's almost here, everything's ready to go, and I can finally squeeze in some time to do some models. So I have been finishing off this little guy. I'll quickly show you that. Just a quick update on what I'm doing. Tiger is almost, Tiger 2 is almost there. And we'll have a video coming on that very soon. I'm just waiting on some stuff to arrive for some weathering. But today I am yakking on a lot. I'm just going to do the kit review for the Airfix 1/72 scale Mitsubishi A6 M2B0. This is obviously one of the newer kits, so if you remember the old Airfix range, that has gone the way of the dodo for the most part, which is good. And we're going to start off with the decals. So let's have a quick look at the decals. They are looking nicely printed on register. Probably, I mean, some people will say a little bit on the thick side. I don't mind them. I quite like them. And that is relatively easy to fix during construction if they are. Let's have a quick look at the instructions. So it gives you a little blurb on the aircraft itself. That's pretty common and typical for most of the 1/72 scale builds from Airfix. It is a very simple build, but it's a newer model. It should be quite a good fit. So I'm looking forward to making this one. Interestingly, it does seem to have the rudder separate, so posable. Doesn't have the flight controls is in the elevators or the ailerons separable, but that's okay. Separate rather. Or posable, and it does have the wingtip options for the carrier folding wings, which is kind of unique. It's interesting. You can cut them and put them up, and yeah, we'll have a look at that and see how we go. But I haven't decided what I'm going to do with this one. Well, I think I've decided what I'm going to do, but I'm not 100% sure. Landing gear down, we have a drop tank there, and a few other little bits and pieces on the underside. So very simple build. This should not take you very long at all. As with most 1/72 scale kits, the longest part of the build is going to be painting it. Very simple. Pilot figure. Canopy looks to be one piece on the instructions. We'll have a look at the kit there and see if that is the case. But very basic build, nice to see, and hopefully it goes together all right. Just touching on the instructions, let's go to the painting guide. Painting guide's on the back of the box, and it is just a standard Japanese paint scheme, so there's nothing really standing out about this one. Obviously, you can go to town on these ones and weather them. A lot of people have a lot of fun with salt chipping and things like that on these kits, and we may end up doing something like that. But yeah, looks nice and simple, pretty good. Let's have a look at the parts. Now, I haven't opened this up. I normally open these up first, so you avoid hearing all the plastic tearing, and I'm sorry I haven't done it this time. I'm rusty. It's been a little while, alright? I'm back on the bench after a little sabbatical. And when I look to my left, a blunt pair of scissors. Gotta love it. Come on, you can cut. There you go. Oh dear. I gotta upgrade my tools a little bit, or some of my tools. So there we go, we do have a single piece canopy there, and it looks nicely moulded. Doesn't look too thick, which is nice to see. It looks pretty good. So a lot of the hardest part on these is the masking off. You can get masking sets and things for these. I might end up doing that. At any rate, I will have to mask it when I paint it, but yeah, we'll see how we go and what we decide to do there. Now let's have a look at the first sprue we've got, and it is the wings. And look at the detail there. I'll just get the light to shine, so you might notice the video quality is hopefully a little bit better, and the lighting should definitely be better. So that's all the stuff we've fixed for the studio, but you can see the panel lines there on the wings, and they're all nicely moulded. I love the new Airfix kits, I really do. You would have seen me build, I think I've built at least 3 of their P51s. I've built 2 of their Spitfires in 1/72. Absolutely love them. There's the separate rudder right there. Cockpit detail, a little bit of a letdown there. We've got the injection pin marks on the inside there. Now, they're going to be hard to see once the seat's in and all that jazz, but it's just a little bit annoying. A little bit of thinking there, a little bit of more thought going into the moulding. They could have fixed that quite easily. Yeah, elevators are looking good, and the rear stabilisers, I quite like how they've moulded those. It's probably a little on the light side compared to some of the heavier ones that they did. You remember the first Spitfire Mark 1, it was very heavy, the panel lines were. These are a lot lighter. Well, they seem to be a lot lighter. And then we've got the top elevators there for the wings, and that's the option to cut off the tips there. I decided I'm not going to be doing that. I try to avoid surgery on kits where I can. I'll probably get the nice big elevators and things moving, but yeah, we'll have a look. Prop is very simple. Not a lot of detail on that, of course, but yeah, it looks reasonably well moulded. No flash, seam lines are basic and quite easy to fix, so it's good. Let's have a look at the first part of the fuselage. So we've got the starboard side of the fuselage there. Once again, mould lines are nice. Looks nicely detailed. Landing gear covers. No injection pins on the back of those, which is good to see. We've got the rear cockpit wall. Now, if that faces on the inside, I'll have to check where that sits, but if that faces on the inside, you're going to be annoyed, and I'd say it will, because I reckon that backs up to the back of the seat. You've got some injection pin marks there. They're not too big, and once again, you probably won't see them once the kit is put together, but it's just a bit of a nuisance. Pilot figure. Pilot figure's a bit of a letdown, so I'll just zoom in on this little guy so you can have a look at him. He's basic in the extreme. I don't like the way he's moulded. He's got a fair amount of seam lines. The detail's really soft. Not a fan of that little guy at all, but it's not a problem if you're excluding him. But yeah, that could have been done a bit better. That's the top of the engine cowl. That looks pretty good. Detail on that's nice. The wheels are very simple. They're just a smooth tyre. Now, I don't know if the Japanese had, what tyre patterns they had on them or anything like that, but yeah, they're just basic. Very, very basic. Most of the moulding looks pretty good. The only parts where I'll say you got to be really careful with, that is the control column for the pilot, and just look at how thick that gate is there, joining the part to the little tab. That is going to be one of those parts. If you remember the P51 build, they had the same issue with the control column on that aircraft as well, so I'd say that's going to be a similar issue. The part next to it, ironically, looks quite nicely done. It's just that part there. I don't know what they've got going with those. They have a few issues. Tiny bit of flash. Zoom. Hello. Excuse me, I'll just knock the camera there. So tiny bit of flash on top of the cowl. Not that hard to fix. In the front of the cowl, little bits and pieces. But overall, pretty good. I'm just going to zoom back out and we'll focus that again. And let's have a look at the last spruce. This has got the port side of the fuselage, should be identical to the opposite side, and the undercarriage. So some nice, relatively simple detail inside the wheel wells there, which is good to see. And we've got some very, very, very fine, and excuse my camera work, I'm just going to zoom in yet again, some very, very fine rivet details there on the parts. So just be careful when you're making this kit not to delete those. I actually can't even feel them with my finger, which is, I was kind of hoping I'd be able to feel some sort of texture there, but nope, can't. That's all right. So just be careful of those when you're painting. Make sure you don't fill them in too much. Little radial engine, that's going to be hidden by the cowl anyway. Detail on it's very basic. There's another part of the radial engine over the other side, same deal. So I'm assuming that should be the front section, and that should clip over that as the rear. So you're definitely not going to see that part, but that'll be the front bit there. And there are the wingtips. So you do get the spare set of wingtips once you've cut the other ones off the kit. That makes it a lot easier. The way it looked like the instructions there, that you had to cut them off and then just sort of bend them up, but it did have those little tabs on them, which sort of made me look, made me a bit confused, but I hadn't actually inspected this kit prior to, so there you go. So they will fit in. Yeah, I reckon those folded down in flight are going to be is the way to go. I'm not sure I like the way that they'll look up, but it's got the little grooves taken out for the positioning and the pieces there anyway. So if you do decide you want to do them, they are easy to fit. Overall, not a bad kit. Not a horrible kit, not a stunning kit. It's good. It looks like it's going to go together really well. It's molded fairly well. There's very little flash seam lines. There are a couple of little injector pin marks which are a bit of a pain, but that's life, isn't it? That is the hobby. So, and you can see there they've got the nicely detailed chipping on the box art there. So, yes. I think this might have to be my next build, but yes. Anyway. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry I've been away for so long, but I'm back now and I'm going to be doing more videos, baby permitting, and we'll see how we go. More kit reviews definitely coming, and the next build video should definitely be that Tiger 2 Henschel. That is 95% done. I've just got a bit of pastel work to do on that and a little bit of painting, and we are finished. So that'll be up and coming very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for your patience, and we will see you all very, very soon.